Gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the new and improved podcast.
Yay!
Through the highs and the lows for 4 years running, the podcasts have been here for you, bringing the victories and the defeats, the joys and the sorrows, and we're just getting started. I'm your show producer, Bella, the coordinator of the chaos. And if you want to talk to Scott, you got to get through me. So be nice. Here at the podcast, we do it a bit different. We're all about the investment element of crypto, no hype, but rational and objective context of what we're buying and what we're selling. And we strive to be entertaining and informative while we do it. So strap in, fill your glass, and without any further ado, I give you the podcaster himself, the one and only Great Scott. Dazzle me, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast. Thank you. I literally cannot go live unless I say that. As soon as the camera hits me, I have to say that. And I'm representing myself tonight. I've been wearing everybody else's T-shirts, but my own. So tonight I'm on here representing the podcast. We are a rational crypto opinion editorial channel. And if you've never joined us before, thank you so much. I'd have a hard time believing that we get new people. We just don't, man. We are just we are entirely too conscientious, man. We don't hold anything back. As I'm going to illustrate right now, I wasn't sure which way I was going to go with the monologue, but I don't know. Something kind of changed my mind, so I think I know which direction I'm going to go. Right here, guys, we're looking at Prop 330. Now, this one was put up by Reese himself, and I actually find this kind of funny because when Reese Williams came on to Juno, the savior. Reese can do no wrong. I happen to agree. The kid's sharp. I mean, he is super, super sharp. But as he got further and further into the minutia of Juno, he started to see the problems and started to fight the governance. This is a chain that governed itself to death. That's all it was. It's not like they didn't build. They do have some stuff up there. But they went out of their way to govern themselves to death, and they're still doing it, as can be illustrated right here on Prop 330. Now, due to the governing council and the rules of Juno and all that, he can only put up one prop at a time. He left the other props for the operations department. I don't think you'll see anything out of them. But all of this is really starting to highlight for me that I need to go a different direction for me as far as personal investment goes. And honestly, this prop right here is going to decide it. Let me give you my rationale. By the way, I'm gonna give you mine. I'm not just gonna bitch. I'm gonna give you my rationale. Based on this right now, this ain't gonna pass. There's no way. We still got like 4 voting days. You can see that most 43%, 0.12% voted abstain. Now that is perfect actually for Juno, because this is a chain that is simply being harvested by the validators. I mean, that is it. They show up, they collect the check, and they leave. And when push comes to shove, meaning that this is important, you need to vote, you need to do something, they're just saying abstain. They're just voting present. Just voting present. In fact, golden ratio staking, is that who they are? Eric, is that who I was going at this morning? Was that, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, yeah. So he not only went out of his way to abstain, but he came out there to give you his rationale. His rationale was perfect. It was, I don't want to get into the drama, so decide for yourself. Now, that's fantastic because it makes me ask, what are we paying you for? What are you being paid for? Because this is exactly what you are being paid for right here. And I'm not going to single him out. I'm going to get everybody else, but at least these guys right here, all these other validators, had the good sense not to make a Twitter post saying that they're not going to make a decision. So they did that. Now, you guys know I have kind of a problem with validators. It's one of the reasons that we got out of the business. It is I don't want to have to watch and mind what I say. So it's not a good fit for us anymore, and we kind of moved on. Now, I think we did it right. We were on there to support the chain. We never took a single token off the chain. Commissions were irrelevant to us. They just got pushed back on self-stake because that's what they should do. It's not that expensive to run a validator. Don't let them bullshit you. But when it comes time to vote, this is your job. This is your job, is to vote. But right now, what do we have here? We have 43% of those who did vote voted present. That is horse shit. all the way up and down. But it is so indicative of Cosmos. That is a perfect illustration of Cosmos. You have just pure companies that do nothing but come up here and validate chains. They contribute nothing to it, but they collect the check every single day. And when it comes time to do your job, they vote abstain. Now, this is a better number over here. See that big no with veto? See that 20%? No with veto is a declaration of war. Not only do you disagree with this prop, but you want to punish the person who put the prop up so that they don't get uppity and decide to push other props. So not only do you want to do that, but you want to take their money, make sure that they surrender the cost of putting up the proposal. That is hands down a declaration of war. Now, the one thing that should be on here is that if you are a validator voting no with veto, your icon needs to be right there. It needs to be sitting right there under that so that we can call you out personally. You volunteered for this. Nobody forced you to validate. You wanted to. And you're going to take the highs, the lows. You're going to take the fire from people like me if you choose to do this. If this is how you're making your living, then you need to stand up, nut up, and put it out there. I'm on this live here 3 nights a week. 3 nights a week. I would do 5 if we could get anyone to tune in. But I'm out here constantly. And I'm putting myself out there, and I get the grief for it because this is what we volunteered to do. And these guys need to do the same damn thing. So this is not going to pass, but this is a perfect indication of every damn thing that is wrong with Juno, and it helped me make a decision. See, I've been waffling on this. I've been scalping into Juno, guys, and I scalp a lot. So I've been scalping all of that off, pulling it off, dropping it into Juno. If this thing passes or does not pass, and I consider it a huge problem, let me give you all of my reason for this. I think that this is important. And the reason that I'm going to give you is over here is what we're going to do here is zoom out. Everybody says that. Everybody comes out and says, zoom out. You got to zoom out if you really want to see what's going on here. So I did. See that number right up there? You see that son of a bitch sitting up there at $45.51? That was Prop 16. That's what happened at Prop 16. And did you see what happened afterwards? Now, I know you're going to come at me. I have no problem with this. Bring it. All right? Because if you're coming at me, you better come correct, son, because I've been doing this for 25 years, and I will win virtually any argument. I'll pull out the Hitler card. You know who else voted no? Hitler. So there you go, man. We've just made the comparison. But the team that you're supporting and the team that Reese is saying, look, needs to go are the people that took that token from $45 to 12 cents right there. And that wasn't that long ago. This was recent that they bombed that token from $45 to 12 cents. They did nothing. They sat on their hands, watched it happen. A validator set came in there and just kept harvesting up the money over and over and over, and you did dick. So why are you supporting the people who ran you into the ground? Why are you continuing to support them? What have they done? What have they done but bring a token from $45 to 12 cents? There is no universe in which you do that and keep your job. It just simply doesn't exist. So Reese, again, your savior. I like the kid. I think he's doing a great job, but he comes up and says, okay, look, man, we got to cut the tether. We got to stead out. We have to get rid of the old guard, bring in the new guard, and see if we can save this. And the answer from everybody, the answer from this chain, the people who are profiting on it, $2.5 million a year to run this chain, and it's getting less than $100,000 in revenue. Eric, is that real revenue?
No.
No? My goodness. How's that possible, man? How is that possible?
Yeah, right now it's like rehypothecation. Like that revenue is basically what they create in fees, and that just goes right back to the validators and the stakers. So the stakers get inflation plus that. I prefer it if you're doing the inflation staking rewards and whatnot, then what you get in revenue is just like straight burned. And you can have this kind of counter inflationary pressure where if the fees outpace inflation, then it's deflationary. I think Injective actually has a really neat model of like, if the fees outpace inflation, then we do the fees instead of the inflation. But yeah, it's not, but it could be if they got massive adoption, like it really could be.
Yes, but they're not going to, because the thing that they need to do to get mass adoption, they are literally up here voting no on, and not only no, but no with veto. So they want to keep the old team. They want to keep the people who've done dick. nothing, and run this thing straight into the ground, and everybody seems to be cool with it. If the prop fails, I can't do it, man. I cannot support. I can't support people who literally won't support themselves, who would rather watch it go to zero than admit that maybe they got it wrong. That's a cult, and I want nothing to do with that. So I've recently pivoted. I stopped scalping into Juno, and I'm actually scalping into Neutron. Now, I'm not crazy about Neutron. I don't love them because they're kind of doing the same thing. They're a better parking lot, but they're still a parking lot. There's nothing built up over there. There's a new one that's going to be launching over on Secret. I think it's called Andromeda. Another one. Different thing, kind of they're saying is an iOS. I did catch them on Twitter, and I asked them what apps are built on there. And I got chirp, chirp. Well, just wait. That's what I got. We've been waiting for years, guys. We're not early anymore. We've been waiting for years. These apps are not coming. Doesn't matter. So I started pivoting over into Neutron. Now, I was just going to thunder away. I was going to keep doing that, but I still want to kind of make this a money stream. I'll let everybody else have their talk. You guys have questions. You want to call me out on it. Now's a great time. Bring it. I will answer the question respectfully, unless you really piss me off, and then I'm just going to give you both barrels, man, because I'm in that kind of mood tonight. But what I am doing, and I do like to show this stuff off, this is the little wallet, by the way, guys, and there you go, $50,634. This wallet started at $4,700 in mid-September. So for all of the jagoffs that can constantly go at, well, you're not doing it right. You know what? I think I am. Because that's not only a 10X, man, that's a 10X plus. And we did that in 3 months and 1 single week. I think I'm doing fine, but I appreciate your critique of what I'm doing. So here's what we're doing, and here's why we're doing it. Now, most of this money, you can see it right there, is sitting in cash. I don't trust this. I'm not real crazy about this, and I'm always going to keep a real heavy cash position in this wallet, because when I make buys in this now, I'm making buys for $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000. So I need to have lots in there, because I'm only playing for small percentages, 3%, 5%, 8%. 10% is wonderful for me. If I hit 10% of a $20,000 buy and I just happen to catch something at the right time, this is Cosmos, happens all the time, guys. That's $2,000 for 15 minutes worth of work. All right. It's not a bad living. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, I had been scalping all of this into Juno, and over several wallets, guys. It's not just this one, but we're pivoting now, and this is how we're pivoting. So right now on the board, I have a cash, I have Tia, I have Kudos. You guys know I bought this a couple days ago, and we have Juno, and Dissenter is actually running a wild, man. Have you seen that one, Eric? Eric, have you seen Dissenter, man? That thing is running wild right now.
I've been DCAing into, like, I think it's getting ready to pop off.
I fully agree with you on that one, man. But see, I made most of my buys the very second it hit Astrovault. The very minute that there was good liquidity up there, I made all those buys, dude. And I bought that at .0025. I mean, I bought that rock bottom. So
Nice.
Couldn't be happier. Good for me. Yay for Scott. But this is
have you checked in on Clayton, your best friend?
Mike Clayton's War. Oh, I don't know. He's probably sitting. He's probably out there on the stream right now, dude.
Jackal's like 13 or 14x since the bottom where he sold. I'm just wondering if he's like doing all right.
No, I don't know, man. I'm sure he's still got a poster of me. He took a screenshot. He's got a poster of me with a big crosshair on me, and he's just sitting at home right now, polishing his rifle, putting on lipstick. I'm gonna kill that guy someday, man. It's gonna happen. He's gonna snuff me one day, one Tuesday. I just won't be on, and I would say start looking there, because it's probably a real good place to start. All right. Anyway, guys, look, this is what I do. All right, this is what I do. Now, I have untouchables in this wallet. My untouchables are Jackal. My untouchable is Dissenter, and everything else out here is pretty much fair game. I will make buys, larger buys, particularly in this. And I've already cleaned this one out a few times today, but I'll keep doing it. And what I'll do is come over here and harvest off from that. I'll take that, and now I'm pushing into Neutron instead of Juno, because I'm not sure which way this prop is going to go. This prop is going to fail. They clearly don't want me having anything to do with Juno. If they did, they would vote better. And I will peel this money off, and God, this thing is running slow anymore. I'm on Osmo, dude. I'm going to make some trades over on Astrovault just to see if you guys process them faster, because this is getting ridiculous, man. It should not take me 20 seconds with the price will literally change while it's trying to find block space over here. So there we go. We got a little bit off a cash. We'll take the Tia, $109. What is that? Maybe 7. I mean, these things are just, Tia is just popping off. And we're going to turn that into Neutron. And then we're going to turn whatever the next one is into Neutron. And I will continue to turn it all into Neutron. And I'm going to do this across several wallets. So my goal every day, this is just scalping, guys. This is not my long holdings. This is not what I have staked. This is none of those. This is simply scalping. My goal every day is between $2,000 and $3,000 a day scalping. That's what I want to get. And I didn't think I was going to hit my number today, man. This number was going to be rough today. How much is Kudos? Jesus, 100 and what is that? How much was that? Hang on. Kudos, $133. I don't even know. What is that, about 60,000 tokens or 12,000 tokens at least? We'll just do 12,000, and we're going to turn that into Neutron. And then whatever else I got up here that's up, we're going to turn that into Neutron. And at the end of the day, depending on what the market's looking like, I will clear all of these positions. Now, one of the tricks with this, and it kind of matters now, is you're going to have to be dealing with the larger tokens that have more and more liquidity, because I'm in, I'm out. All right. I will make a lot of buys, a lot of sells, and I cannot deal with price impact. Meaning I'm selling $2,000 and they'll give me $1,940 for it. I can't take a $60 hit every single time I make a small trade like this. So I have to stick to the bigger tokens. Now, one of them that just went crazy today, man, and I timed it perfect each and every time. I'll show it here as soon as this damn trade goes through. I'll show you that one, is Picasso. Eric, what do you know about Picasso?
Actually, I really like the team. I've talked to them a couple times over the last year or two, before the info about Brain Jar dropped, but they've always been super nice and kind, and they're going to bring a lot more functionality to IBC. So they launched a Cosmos compatible chain now, whereas they had started on like Polkadot, and they're going to bring IBC to a lot more places. So it's nice to have them and Landslide and a couple other teams working on that, because IBC is the best like bridging tech, realistically, like in crypto. So I'm a big fan of their team.
And I agree. I like the team. I like the idea that they have going forward. I don't really get into those kind of infrastructure projects. I'm more physical infrastructure projects, but I like what they have going on. The problem is that their token is just being an absolute wild man right now. And what I mean wild man, it's to the point where I don't even want to try to catch that knife, man. That thing is double. That thing is double tough, man. Oh, hang on. Tia went up a little bit more. Let me get some more money out of that. Yeah, it's that thing is tough. Double tough to catch, man. There's a lot of action on the token. The liquidity is good, but there is a tremendous amount of action on the token. And what I mean by that is, if you come over here and take a look at Pika, this is what that damn thing is doing. You guys see these wild highs and lows? Guys, these are 20, 25% swings that are going up in here. All right, that's big movement. That is a lot of movement, considering that you're looking at this over a 24-hour period. Now, there is no rhyme or reason to it. It's people squatting on tokens, and it's people like me, mercenary capital, that want to get in where there's a lot of action going on, because we can buy the price. We can move it up. We can encourage others to do it, and then just kind of clear out our positions. Now, I don't do it this aggressively. You see these big monster drops. I don't do that. I iceberg, because I've been doing this for a while, and I know, how to do it, man. You don't want to, you don't want that much price impact. You don't want to eat that much price impact on every single buy and sell, but plenty of people do, man. This is crypto. So anyway, guys, look, that's the summary. Again, I usually put this up over on, I don't even know what I don't own over here. I usually put all this stuff over on the Patreon. If you guys want to see the days, highs, lows, what I do, everything, buys, sells, and all that, it's over on the Patreon. We charge you $1. But you know what? You could do worse. So anyway, we're going to get to your questions. We're going to get to your comments. We're going to get to your concerns. I'm not going to drop bombs like this and then walk it back. I'm not going to turn off comments. So we're going to get into all of that, guys. But again, we are an unsponsored channel. So the bell, I'm going to read this one tonight, Eric. I think you might like it. I'm gonna nail this, Belle. Are you ready, Belle? Are you here? I haven't even heard you talk.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready for this one.
So yeah, we still got to pay. We got to pay the bell. All right. And, girls are pricey. So we got to pay the bell. So Bell goes out to the Netherworlds, Legacy Netherworlds, and finds us interesting products. And we're bringing we're bringing in one right here. I'm going to nail this because I'm a pro. 25 years doing radio. I am a pro. So I got to say, hey there, hey there, custard lovers. Are you ready to dive spoon first into a swirl of sweetness? Then look no further than look no further than look no further than Custard's Last Stand, where custard isn't just a treat, it's a it's a battle. Get ready to embrace the creamy, dreamy goodness that'll make your taste buds say, that's a lot of Indians. Round of applause for terrible puns. Here, guys, here at Custard's Last Stand, they're serving up scoops of happiness and fear in every cup. But hold on to your cones, folks, because they're not just dishing out delirium. They've got puns that'll make you groan in pain. From custard in time to from custard in time to custodian of the galaxy. Oh, their pun game is as strong as their custard swirls. And here's the scoop. You won't just leave with a smile. You'll leave with a you will leave with a punderful story to share. Whether it's a cup, a cone, or a pint to go, Custard's Last Stand has the creamy cure for your cravings. So why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in extraordinary custard and punderful delights? Come on down today and bring the kids, why don't you? Ice cream headaches are free. Located at the Ogden City Mall food court, Ogden, Delaware. I think I own that one, guys, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. And for your dining pleasure, don't forget Custard's Last Stand at the Ogden City Mall food court, Ogden, Delaware. I nailed that one. These guys are giving me grief in the break, but I got to listen to it. I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. All right, Belle. Questions, comments, concerns, observations. Gimme.
First question coming in directed at Eric. Hey, Eric, any news on the token and rewards date? Need to earn some return on my funds now.
Yeah, dude, fair. We're pushing for it as soon as we can here in January. So we're making some UI updates for Outbid, which we had a great demo of 2 weeks ago. And hopefully in about a week or two, we'll announce when Outbid goes live. And at the end of Outbid, we have the airdrop and tokens live. So it should be in January.
All right, next question coming in from New Type. Is there a project that has a governance system whenever proposals are launched, there has to be a recorded hearing with respected members composed of opening statements and reasons?
Not to my knowledge, but I would 100% support that. I was made for that. That's what I was. I mean, that's it. That's me. I could get up there. We'll host them live, man. We'll host them right here on the podcast. I'll get up. I'll make my. I'll do the glasses thing. Ladies and gentlemen,
100%. 100% that should happen. What is at least should be happening really soon is I know Citadel 1 got a couple groups together, got a couple people together who are interested. I'm in the group at least, and they're working on having validator debates about at least contentious props that will be public forum. Get some validators that are for, get some validators that are against, and just hash it out. And we need a lot more of that. But yeah, a full process with like opening, closing debates, all that kind of shit, that would be great.
I am made for that. Absolutely made for it. All right, Belle, carry on, please.
All right. Old man, regarding our first sponsor of the evening, says, spit it out, Scott. It's not yours.
Hey, you know what, old man? I absolutely own that one, dude. I'm professional radio guy. I know how to do this. I used to have to do these just terrible, boring, dry, I mean, look, that's how we get paid, man. That's how you get paid in radio. And I used to have to just read these things for like lip balm and insoles and stuff like that. And it just used to suck my soul out. So I promised if I was ever doing my own thing, I would do it my own way. And that's my own way. But you know what? I killed it. I'm not backing off from that. Carry on, Bill.
Ambadeo, anyone else enjoying all the ETH FUD on the timeline lately? Feels like a good buy opportunity, but I'm anticipating some kind of market pullback. Then I snag some. The FUD kind of reminds me of Solana's lowest moments post FTX collapse.
You know what? There's always going to be contention between the ETH, the Bitcoin maxis, and the ETH maxis, and all that other stuff. Look, man, Ethereum ain't going away. I know everybody. There's a better thing, a better way. You know what? The whole world knows Ethereum. They know three things. They know Bitcoin, they know Ethereum, and sadly, they know Doge. That's what the world knows. And until people start wrapping their head around that, the reality of it, that the fact that you exist in a niche space, and the only thing that's ever going to pull legacy money over here is stuff that they recognize or stuff that they don't know that they're using Web3, such as Jackal, such as Akash, such as Kudos, such as Alter in a way. I mean, until they're using products that they don't know that are Web3, you're never going to crack the legacy world. But Ethereum isn't going away, man. Look, you want to buy up Ethereum, I go for it. I think you're going to be okay with that. If you want to buy a Bitcoin, go for it. I think you're going to be okay with that. You're not going to get the returns on Bitcoin that you're getting on altcoins. Period. Now, we have a tremendous amount of risk. I mean, we have a lot of risk. And guys, I got a lot of money in Ethereum. So but that's my safe money. That's the stuff that doesn't move 85% in a single day. That's the stuff that doesn't do what Levana did. So I'm kind of cool with it. But as far as it going away and the fights and the infight and all that stuff, man, that's just it's not going anyway. That's called trading, and people want to feel like they're on the right side. Just my opinion. What do I know? Bell, carry on.
All right, last question for the moment from Luke. Can I ask Eric about Sentinel DVPN? It's been around since forever, and suddenly everyone needs it to claim geoblock airdrops as centralized VPNs don't work. Is this their time to truly shine?
I hope so, man. I like their team. I think they've done a really good job kind of like coming out from the cartel's shell. Got a lot of community members that are like absolutely supporting them. And I've talked to their team a couple times, like good dudes doing things for the right reason. That's what I'm about. So I think they should be hyping it up more. Like, hey, come claim your TIA airdrop. Hey, come claim your Neutron airdrop and whatnot. They've done a couple things on Twitter. I think they should just really lean into it.
That was a big miss. It was a big miss on their part, because you can use DVPN and you can do it to claim all these airdrops, particularly for all of the Yankees, all of us Americans over here that got banged out of them. I couldn't even get them on Orchid. You guys know that's my VPN of choice. I couldn't even get them on Orchid because you're randomly assigned to a provider. So unless I want to click 35 times, which I don't, then yeah, you're kind of stuck. But you can choose it over there on DVPN. I think it was a big miss on their part. I think if they still have time, but they've got to PR this, man. They got to get out in front of it. And how come you can't get them over on Astrovault? Because it is a use case token and it belongs over there. As a matter of fact, unless I'm mistaken, DVPN is already partnered with another token that you carry over there called Decenter. Unless I'm wildly mistaken. I don't think I am. Why don't you, are you talking to them? Are you going to get them over there? What the hell, man?
We are talking to them. We're going to make it work. With actually being decentralized, and with like, it's taken them a while and years to get rid of like a lot of the earlier partners and whatnot. They actually are decentralized. They don't have a bunch of additional liquidity sitting around, but we've properly showed them that we could do a lot more with it than Osmosis can, and it's a lot more rewarding to use us, and that we're properly leaning into decentralized businesses and doing everything we can to help them grow and scale. So I'm sure before too long you'll see them over on Astrovault.
Okay. See, now that's what I like, because I like coming over on Astrovault because it's just a very easy dex to use. So I kind of prefer that. I do got to ask though, man. Benji was posting that up over on Twitter, the Astrovault current and the other one. Dude, the other one is Osmo. That's Osmosis. Or did you guys kind of borrow from that and just try to improve upon it? Answer the question.
No, we didn't borrow anything from Osmo. He was just showing. Honestly, it's a little internal frustration thing. We've seen a lot of mods in the Archway chat send people like, "Oh, you need Arch, go to Osmosis," and we're like, "What the hell?" Like, we spent.
Why
so
would
much
they?
time
Why
building
would
out-
they ever say that? You're literally built on Archway. That's why I don't buy that freaking token, dude. That's why they banged you on the prop. They said no, and I sold it all. Because if you make a bad decision, I don't want to be invested in you. And if you're literally going on there telling people to go to your competitor, go to another chain, go to another DEX, but not your very own DEX, you cannot see the optics in that. Are they? Get them on this fucking show and just let me choke them for a little bit.
Yeah, we've talked to him about it, and like we built the very first ledger compatible fee grant for this very purpose. Where with Atom, with USDC, with ETH, you can come over to Astrovault and buy Arch for the very first time without having any Arch. Like, we did that so you don't have to send people to Osmosis. But what Kenny's tweet showed is that if you send people to Osmosis and they want to buy $1,000 worth, they end up with $900 worth on Osmosis, and a terrible experience if it even works. Whereas you get like all of your money's worth on Astrovault, where there's actual liquidity and you're supporting the protocol. And a lot of people will say like, oh, well, Astrovault is a competitor with Osmosis. Archway is a competitor with Osmosis. We've said for a long time that they can't really compete with our model as a DEX, but they can compete with Archway's model as a layer one by commoditizing their block space, which they're now doing with EIP 1559. A lot of times you're actually spending higher gas fees now on Osmosis than you are in Archway, and like relayer fees are getting high as well. So yeah, it's it's interesting. We've relayed to the team, and they're doing their part of relaying to the mods, and we are making things work. I think I'm really bullish on where we're going with Archway. We should.
All right. Am I gonna get a better deal? I'm gonna do this live. Am I gonna get a better deal over on Astrovault than I will on Osmo?
For buying Arch? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's find out. Let's all do this together because it's fun to do things together. Okay, so we're going to swap. Where's all my USDC? Oh, it's all sitting in Axlar. All right, so we're going to do that, and we are going to swap for Archway. We're just going to do $1,000. I'm not going to make it because I don't want to own $1,000 worth of Archway. But let's check the slippage. Or I'm sorry, the price impact. So, okay, $1,000 right here will get me $913 worth of Archway. That's what we're going to get right here on Osmo. So let's come over to Astrovault. I hope you're right, dude. Which asset would you like me to trade for the Archway? You know what? No, we're gonna keep it fair. I'm doing Noble. I'm doing Noble. All right. I'm gonna do the same thing over here that I just did over here, and I hope you're right. Okay, so there is Noble, and we're gonna trade for Arch, and we're gonna do $1,000. And I hope you're right here, dude, or else this is not good. Okay, there you go. So if we're going to trade the $1,000 right here, it's going to cost us $1,001, and we will get $990 worth of Arch. So yes, this is clearly a much better deal. It's about a 1% hit. So we're going to do a hell of a lot better over here. So I do got to ask again then, why are their people sending them over to Osmo to piss away money? I mean, how hard is this? And again, dude, for me, it goes down to competence of the team. You have to understand what the hell you're doing, what the hell you're saying. And I mean, are these guys going to back you at all? Or do you not want to get into it? Do you not want to talk about that here? You're on the podcast, dude.
Yeah, no, they are going to, and we've talked about this, and we're like, look, we need better support. We need you guys to do this. We need you guys to prioritize your own network. And they responded saying the right things. Like, you're absolutely right. This shouldn't be happening. We're going to talk to them. We're going to get it fixed. So cool. That's what we like to hear. We've seen that be better in the chats already. A lot of it is an education problem. Like, people expect like, oh, well, Astrovault needs Arch for gas, so you have to buy Arch somewhere else. It's like Osmosis isn't working half the time. But that's why we built this fee grant out. And we've done so much work for this. I saw Lavender 5 on Twitter like several months ago, and they're like, oh, the only real work towards fee grants has been on Secret Network. And we're like, you guys are using using fee grants on Archway right now, but we built out the first ledger compatible ones. We're doing more with fee grants than anybody. We're bettering the capacity for fee grants. We're making changes push up chain for all of Cosmosm. Like Cosmos SDK is getting bettered because of us, and their libraries are getting bettered because of us and our work. Let us show that off.
Yeah, but again, dude, I mean, when push came to shove, you put the prop up, you said, let's really partner here. Let's get your liquidity out, and yeah. And they basically rear-ended you. Their core developers, the boss, basically went out there, politicked against you, and wrecked you. So why should this be different? Why are you going to trust them now when you saw, where the rubber meets the road, you saw how they acted? So tell me how it's different here.
Yeah, there are multiple moving pieces. Yeah, that sucked. We still don't understand it. We expect some kind of deal to go through. Where you could see the Levana prop on Osmosis right now. If we do the same thing and we repay it in AXV in a couple months, it's going to end up being a fraction of what we offered. I don't think anybody realized that, like, hey, we're offering a bunch of AXV at like a sub $2 million market cap, and that fundamentally doesn't make sense for the actual price. Like, do your own research. Like, I'm not going to sit here and speculate on AXV. Maybe it's worth nothing. Who knows? But our offer was far more than fair. The goal of it was to benefit Archway and Archway stakers and be a unification of the community. And fundamentally, like, we feel like nobody's really done proper research into what Astrovault is on their end. And that's why we're seeing things like miseducation. So we need to do a better job of educating them. And Lord knows, like, we've tried and we're working towards it. They're being more receptive now. There are other partnership things that we're collaborating on that will come out soon that are going to be really, really cool and drive a ton of value to Astrovault on Archway. But yeah, we'll see. We're disappointed as well, but we fundamentally think that it'll probably be better long term for Astrovault and a little bit worse for Archway. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Belle, do we got anything? Any questions or comments? Because I can keep going.
We've got a couple of questions that are both very, very similar. One from Ambadeo saying, how are you supposed to buy Arch on Archway if you have no Arch? Followed by Microman, how can you trade for Arch without having any? I couldn't figure it out earlier.
Go ahead and answer that again.
If you have a new wallet and you go to Astrovault, it will key like, hey, bridge over half an atom or bridge over 5 USDC or a tiny amount of ETH or anything. Like, it'll show up right on the trade UI like, hey, follow this. And it will prompt you to IBC over Atom or USDC or IST or the other USDC or ETH or whatever we have compatible for the fee grant right now. If you do that, it will then set up an initial trade for that asset to Arch with our fee grant where we pay all of the gas for it. Because of how limited the fee grant is right now in Cosmos SDK, it does have to be very structured. We would love for it to be general purpose, but if it were, people could basically abuse it and steal all of our money. And so, yeah, it has to be a new wallet. It can't just be like, oh, I've been trading and I ran out of gas. If so, just DM me. Like, I shoot people Arch all the time to help seed them. But for new wallets, for first trades, you can buy Arch for the first time on Astrovault.
You've never given me any Arch. Why don't you send me some Arch, dude? That's funny. Look, he's laughing. He's having a good time. Huh? Carry on, Belle.
You're sitting here showing 500K on our decks. Hey, bro. Throw me a couple bucks. I got you, Scott. Drop me an address. I got you.
No, we're about 700,000. You have to answer to me now. Carry on, Belle.
Those were actually the only questions for the moment.
All right, Eric, you wanted to talk Pika, didn't you?
Yeah, you guys were pulling it up. So I mentioned I like Pika, I like the team and everything, but just during the break, I went and checked out their pool, and I'm like, this is saying 180% LP incentives. Let's look into that. And so it's saying 100% from the swap fees because the volume is incredibly high right now. That's
right now it is. Yeah.
In general, like, usually Osmosis is just flat out wrong about their swap fee APR, so just don't necessarily trust it because it's on the UI. However, what's really interesting to me is the 79% for the boost, which is coming from incentives from Pika. And if you break that down, what is like 80% APR on $1.6 million worth of liquidity? It means they're currently spending Pika at a rate of $112,000 per month for LP incentives on Osmosis in a way that's set up in order to like magnify the LP for half of that to be sold. So you're looking at $56,000 a month in selling pressure. And if that's not sustainable at the current price, then like this is what we're trying to negate. This is what we're trying to solve for these teams. This is the kind of situation that we found Jackal in early on when their token was tanking. So love the Pika team. Don't agree with this decision.
No,
we could save them a whole
is
lot of money to get boosted APR in a way that's competitive with staking rewards on Astrovault.
yeah, that's not even remotely sustainable. And I get it, man. Look, they got some financing up there. Their market cap is decent, but you can't
1.34 million a year.
but there is no way that you're going to sustain this thing to buy a token that's this incredibly volatile. Now the boost is fun. I like that. Hey, people want to be incentivized, but the kicker with this is that when you're incentivizing people into pools like this, and this is very, very popular over here in the Cosmos, Kajira, when you are incentivizing people into pools like this, the music stops eventually. And when the music stops, everybody bails because they have no particular love for this. They are farming you. This is the way a standard retail investor can come up here and just farm the hell out of a chain without having to set up a validator to do it. So we've seen these over and over and over, and they are 100% unsustainable. And yeah, there's your 100% swap fees. That's it. That's where you're getting that big-ass APR. Now, this one here, when it slows down, everything slows down, man. You got to remember this is crypto, and flavor of the month will go from token A to B to C. And when that token slows down, those swap fees go down to about 11%. And then all you're sitting on right there is that boost, which is coming from where, Eric? Where's that boost coming from?
From them just handing a bunch of tokens out.
Yes. So you continue to push tokens into there. And guess what retail investors do who harvest all these tokens? They dump them. They will sell them over and over and over. Now, some people are going to get caught up, and they're going to want to APY this because 181% APR. What's the APY on something like that? I mean, it is staggering. I can't do the math in my head right now. But what would you be talking about, Ben? Maybe 450% APY? I mean, just a staggering number. Absolutely staggering number. And people are going to start basing decisions on this. It is not sustainable. It is absolutely not sustainable, and the music stops. When the music stops, if you are bonded in this pool, and I'm pretty sure that this thing is a 14-day bonded pool, unless I'm mistaken over here. This is not one of the V2s. So when the music stops in this, and you're locked in this thing for 14 days, guess what happens in those 14 days? Guess what happens to all of that APY that you've been harvesting over there the whole time? It goes to dust because there is entirely too much mercenary capital out here that doesn't have it staked. They could sit there and just simply ride up the price action. It's what I do. This is what I do. And they will ride that stuff up and down, up and down, up and down. And we've been in this for a little while. So we know what's about to happen. And we've seen it with token after token after token. But for some reason, when market sentiment returns, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter anymore. Everything's going up, up, up only. Look at these prices. Look at this. Everybody's making money. But all of that stops. All of that stops. And when it grinds to a halt, you're stuck 14 days in a token like this with these incredibly high APRs that absolutely bury you. This is crypto. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but if you haven't seen it by now, man, I'd have to say you're kind of new to this entire world. But yeah, you're gonna get absolutely slammed in something like this. But you know what? If you like it and you agree with it, and this is your thick cup of tea, man, I don't tell people how to spend money. You go and do your business. But I'm telling you, I make more money on people getting stuck in things like this. It's not my fault. I didn't make the rules. I didn't create the game. I didn't make the decisions for you. You made the decision. So when it comes down, sorry, man, it is what it is. I'm mercenary capital. All right, Belle, questions, comments, concerns?
All right, Amadeo, in the prop, if I recall correctly, AXV was priced at like 7 cents per token. Is this expected to be a ballpark price for AXV?
While I don't comment on the speculation of token price, this is how much we are willing to, at the lowest possible valuation, sell in a public sale, because that is what a bunch of people are trying to get in a backroom deal in a private sale. And we're just saying, no, we're going to give the community a chance first. We like them more than we like you. So maybe it's 3 cents, maybe it's 50 cents. I don't know. What I could tell you is what the FDV would be there, and then other people can speculate on what the market cap would be there, which is much, much, much lower. We'll see.
GJ, Eric, any clues on how we can work out airdrop calculation? In other words, gravitate, swap, and LP pools.
No, we got people that are working on it. We should have a calculator go live a little bit before the airdrop goes live where you can check your address and see. But at the same time, since you'll be actively accruing airdrop like per day at that time, like we might just not do a calculator and be like, yeah, is what it is. Here you go. The more we build to show what it's going to be, the longer it takes to just get the airdrop. So at this point, we're just rushing to launch the token.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not letting you off the hook on that, dude. Look at the smile that comes in right away. His eyes squint. He smiles because he knows what I'm about to ask him. Who wrote the white paper for this?
Ethan Wood and Eric Weissman.
Okay, so you guys, you did the math on all this, right? You have a really good idea which way this is going to be going.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty good with the numbers.
Sure. So you are very, very good with numbers, and are you telling me you have no freaking idea how much you're going to airdrop and what percentage? I'm putting you big screen. I want you to stare at the camera and say, I have no idea how this airdrop is going to go.
I'm very familiar with how this airdrop's going to go.
You're just not going to say
calculators for specific people. Yeah, I'm not going to go into all the different fractions of what pool we consider worth how much, stuff like that. What percentage of it's going to gravitate. It'll be fair and equitable.
Fair and equitable. That works out. Carry on, Belle.
Luke, osmosis seems to focus on the wrong things. I'd be focused on pools with Solana, Filecoin, FTM, all these massive ecosystem available to osmosis, but these pools are dust. Could bring millions in liquidity.
That's a you question, Eric.
They don't make any money on their liquidity. So what? Like the whole Prop 838, they just told all of the Cosmos chains, here's the middle finger. We don't consider you strategic partners. Strategic partners for us are stable coins and ETH. Why are they strategic partners? You don't make money off that liquidity either. Fundamentally, they haven't monetized liquidity. So more liquidity doesn't mean anything. They finally monetized volume. If they have reason to believe they'll get a ton of volume should they get that liquidity, maybe they'll make an investment in it. But if their typical traders don't really care about that, they care about Cosmos assets, then I still argue, why did they pass Prop 838 when that's the only thing really driving traction to what they finally monetized?
All right. So, old man, I have a theory Eric ate a lot of mushrooms back in the day, and all this just came to him one day.
And I'm an old Christian kid, dude. I got married at 20 because I didn't find my wife in time to get married at 18 when I wanted to get married. It's I'm not into the old drugs. I drink occasionally. I'm not out getting drunk. I'm staying home with my wife and my kids. So no. Fundamentally, I love casinos. I love everything about casinos. I've got some incredible legitimate business models that will work great if there is solid Web3 liquidity financing for things that's better than banks. I can build a casino that is entirely Web2, far more efficient than anybody else possibly can. The issue is it would destroy any DEX in its wake. And so we actually have to rebuild decentralized finance to have solid infrastructure so that legitimate Web2 businesses could use it instead of traditional banking and operate with a much higher margin. So we're not AMM maxis. We're not asking other people to be AMM maxis. We had to build this as a stepping stone because things like osmosis wouldn't work.
So you say you're
gonna... Scott, I was getting people telling me you're muted.
Yeah, I know the dogs were barking. That's why that was funny, because Eric just answered a question that nobody asked him. So you can laugh, dude. It's dude, come on, man. What do I know? I don't I pay people to handle this stuff, and she's sitting right there. Carry on, Belle, please.
All right,
don't even do the shock. You always do that. You do that for sympathy. She does it for sympathy. She's go ahead, do the shock face again. Old man will come to your rescue every single damn time.
I'm so abused.
Yeah, you are. This is rough. Come on, do your job.
All right, Jack Sparrow, is the AXV airdrop time-stamped, as of December 15th, like others, or differently?
I I assume you mean like snapshot type things. We do have snapshots for the Jackal staking section of it. But fundamentally, like we keep detailed logs for all of our contracts, so we know when people got into the pool. To simplify it a little bit, we made it like the same time every single day. But yes, it's absolutely time weighted. Where if you're providing liquidity for 5 months, or somebody else is providing liquidity for 1 month, and if it was the same liquidity, the person who's in for 5 months gets a lot more.
Cool. That was the last question for the moment.
Okay, so now I want to tail back to that. So you date the airdrop based on when we put it in the pool?
Yeah, and how long it's in. Like if you're in and out and whatnot, we know how much time you spend in, and it's about like how much money in which pools for how much time.
All right, and you're going to base that airdrop based on how much money is in there.
Yep.
Okay, well let's show everybody in case they didn't know how to do this. I'll use a different wallet. I don't want to use this wallet, but we'll use a different wallet. All right, so currently over on your decks we have just shy of $500,000 that we have asleep there. So I have a whole bunch of Jackal and Noble and everything that's just sitting here sound asleep. I'm not making any money on it, but I do like your pools. The fact that I can get in, get out, it doesn't cost me nothing. I can do it just right away. So let's take a look at your Jackal X Jackal pool, because I have a whole bunch of Jackal that's sitting there doing nothing. So, and if I get paid for having it on there, it seems like we should. All right. So currently in this pool, we got 1.62 million native Jackal and 439,000 X Jackal. So it's actually, how unbalanced is this pool? Is it better to have more X Jackal or better to have more native Jackal?
So ideally, yeah, kind of weird. From the protocol's perspective, it's ideal if there's 0 X Jackal in it. So perfectly balanced would be 100% Jackal. However, as we reward, like the way our formula works for incentivizing the pool, we actually get a higher APR if it's unbalanced, because now we're making more money off of the X Jackal that's in there. So that tells us like, hey, we need to make sure we're getting more liquidity in here, because you could only add liquidity in the native side and pull it out in the X side. So the more balanced it is, the lower the APR is going to be. So kind of some weird gamifications of happenstance there. But yeah, it's well balanced enough. I'm sure the fee going from X Jackal to Jackal is probably like 0.13, 0.14%, where the minimum is 0.12. Of course, you still get gravitate for it. We'll get alerts as soon as it's like 40% unbalanced, which is still like nothing.
Okay. So, but the money that I already had in here is going to be worth more airdrop than what I'm about to put in. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't it's based on the wallet. So if you had like so much Jackal in for so long, and then you get more Jackal in for so much more, then the new Jackal is weighted evenly on time from now, as it would have been from further back when.
But you can track all that. I'm not gonna skew
Yes.
anything. It's not gonna skew. Okay, well, then we're gonna put $50,000.
Yeah, we're not going to every single address, be like, you get this much, you get that much. We take a bunch of formulas and we run scripts, and however much you get is how much you get. But it's not like us. Like there are a couple boosts here and there for people who manually helped us out, which we've put in like our Telegram, like, hey, we can use some help balancing this pool and whatnot. And people did it. We had them send our mint scan transaction, and we'll give them like a couple like bonus tokens for like manually helping us. I think you've done that like once or twice as well. So thank you.
Oh, a couple times.
But,
yeah, I got no problem with that.
For the most part, the base airdrop is like just based on the value you provide.
All right, and I'm going to give you feedback here. This is a personal thing for me. I hate your day, month, year format. If Benji's listening, if Benji's watching, this is America, all right? And we go day, month, year, all right? We don't. Sorry, we go month, day, year. That is easier to read than this, because every time I look at these things here, well, I got like $35,000 sitting here, and I don't even know when the hell it's gonna unmint. Fix that. I don't like it. There's customer feedback for you, man.
There is only one. So his feedback's gonna be like, it's only right in the places that spell color with a U or something. There's only one proper way to date, and it's year, month, day.
Year, month,
I
day.
do so much e-filing. That is the proper way to date. So that's what we should be going by. But I let him do his thing.
Yeah. Okay. He's funny. Bell, go.
You should tell him that he's traumatizing Scott by having him have military flashbacks.
That's
what you need to tell him.
traumatizing me with this. And have you guys looking at this, and have you seen Fett, Orion? Actually, Adam is kind of running right now. Adam hasn't ran for a long time, but it works out real good for me. Hang on, I want to change wallets. I don't want to show that wallet. That actually works out real well for me because I changed up. I changed up a couple pools over here in over on Orion, who has a little hat as well, by the way. I think that's really cool. But yeah, I changed up, and I was in Orion X, another derivative. I know how much Eric likes those derivatives, but I pulled all that. And I moved it up to Orion Atom earlier this morning. So yay for me. I'm just a lucky guy, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man. Every time I make the move and the move works out. By the way,
Benji just DM'd me and told me to tell you to piss off.
You know what? No. All right, you get him on the fucking show. All right, I will not be ignored on this. All right, I'm 25% of your Dex liquidity. I will not be ignored on this. I want my ass kissed just a little bit. I think I'm entitled. You just lost your camera, Eric. But yeah, for those who are not spending all their time over there on Astrovault or Ridex, I think this is really the only good LPs up here. And I still can't explain these things. So actually, it's perfect that Eric's on here. How familiar are you with Orion, Eric?
Not familiar enough. I know Cosmos Haas is shilling it all the time, and I like him.
Oh, yeah. No, and he is shilling it. But here's the question that I have. And I've had this for years, and for some reason, this thing is the unicorn, and it just happens to defy it. I know you can't see the screen. You will in 30 seconds when it actually hits your thing. Orion Atom is at 109.26 APR. Now, this is paid out in Orion. It is paid out in the DEX token. Orion USDT, 105.03%, paid out in the DEX token. Orion X, Orion USDC, 111.69%. Orion X USDC, the derivative in USDC, 173.24%, paid out in Orion X and Orion. I can see you shaking your head. Now, here's the funny thing about this. I've been in these pools for years. I have been in these for years. There is none of my capital is in these, not even on my big wallet. I have cleared everything. This is nothing but white meat in here. Now, based on your knowledge of crypto, how are they possibly maintaining token price, aside from more people buying than selling, with as much as they are shoveling out? Because, dude, you know damn good and well 110% is not sustainable, but they've managed to sustain it. Based on my own personal experience, my own wallet. How are they doing it? Eric, go.
Speculator is going to speculate. I mean, fundamentally, if people were balancing their positions, it would necessitate a ton of Orion selling, which theoretically would lower the price, which means they must be bringing in a lot of new people and a lot of new cash. Good on them. They're not doing PTMP or whatever Sif Chain did, at least as far as I know, where it's like literal price manipulation. We know how that one went. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's attracting enough people. Maybe it's getting enough new cash. My argument's never been that, for years before the Terra crash, I was always saying, like, my argument isn't you can LP for 40% on Osmosis. You could LP on Astrovault for 200%. It was more like eventually you'll LP on Osmosis for 0. And at that point, you'll still be LPing for 20 to 40% on Astrovault. They took care of their end. We're about to take care of our end. Numbers like this, while it can happen for a short term, we all know that that's not really sustainable. So
and that's the thing, Eric. That's the thing. All right, I'm asking you as a personal favor, look at their white paper, figure it out, because they've had these for years. That's the thing. All right, Osmo didn't last that long. Osmosis didn't last that long with those crazy APRs, but this one just keeps chugging along. Now, I'm well diversified. All right, I'll put money where money is good, and I'll move it where it's treated well. And it's treated incredibly well over here, but it's limited, meaning that what you see is what you get. It's only their token. All right, and they got an injective over here. That's funny because they actually brought injective over here, and they're only getting 27% on injective. You can do better. You can do better with injective other places. But yeah, they brought that over here and are only getting 27%. But again, it's all paired with a rye. Everything is paired with a rye. It is simply there. It is 100% a closed ecosystem. It should not be sustainable, but it continues to sustain. So it's the big mystery over here. And it's actually funny because I take everything that I make on here, I turn it into Atom, and I bring it over to Astrovault because Eric says, we need more Atom. We need more Atom over there. So I actually harvest these every day, and I just bring it. I'm Dex arbitraging. I'm moving it from a rye over to Astrovault, where I earn nothing. Eric. You're aware that I earn nothing on that money that is just cooling its heels over there. Okay, well, I saw chat going on. Belle, we got some questions?
We do have a few. So GJ asking specifically, okay, how about if you swap pools often on Astrovault?
Yeah, that's totally fine. We'll count you in which pools you're in for as many days as you're in them.
Okay. Divergent Dan giving you a little bit of a hard time. Where's my money, Eric? Just kidding. Glad to pool my Jackal and D-Center with Astro just for Eric.
Thank you, fam. My kneecaps are sensitive. Can only handle so much.
All right, Carter. Excited to get a Shade Arch pool spun up on Shade Swap plus Astrovault. Seems like Astrovault has a knack for seeing gems do well. Bitcana, Jackal, D-Center being examples.
Oh, they're killing it now, and I'm gonna piggyback on that question, man. Look, are you guys bringing Shade on?
Yeah, it should be happening pretty soon, I believe.
Okay, how soon is pretty soon?
It's a great question. It's Christmas. Where devs are backlogged on quite a few things, but I believe they already have Shade compatible on Archway, like their token. So it's a matter of when we get all the liquidity up and seeded, when we get the pools live. We're working on quite a few pools right now, but maybe this week, maybe next week.
Okay, because I'm scalping into Neutron right now, but I'm also going to start scalping into Shade, but only when you give me the nod and saying that it's available over there on Astrovault. It's not that I don't want to put it over on Shade decks, but I try to spread the capital around, and if I think I could be more supportive of Shade on Astrovault as opposed to Shade on Shade decks, and I'm sure you understand why. We want to spread that around, break out the arbitrage opportunities and all that other good stuff. So if we got to build up liquidity there, I'm more than happy to do it because I don't pay anything for it. Doesn't cost me anything. It's other people's money. You guys see how I do it. I make videos on this. Carry on, Belle.
All right, Bud asking, what are the targeted APRs on Astrovault once incentives are live?
Ooh.
That's a great question. We don't target APRs. That's super dangerous. It's more like we'll see where they lie. Our estimation from our sims is that it should be competitive with staking APR, but it really depends on price fluctuation. You could try to run the sims with the econ formula. It's really weird. Sometimes they can get really high, sometimes they can get lower than staking APR. But what we can make sure of is that we're not grotesquely overspending based on what we're earning. So it's frugal to a point where it might hamper growth a little bit. And if as a community we vote to be a little bit less frugal, we can. But we just want to make sure first and foremost that we're safe.
See, I like USDP. I like stable pairings. I like stable pairings over there because I have a real problem staking, particularly in a market like this, because 2 week, 3 week lockup, man, I cannot have my money locked up like that anymore. So I'm always looking out for what would be a comparable staking percentage that's paired against a stable. So are you guys going to be bringing on some more stable pools over there? Because if you bring them on, I'm bringing liquidity, but I don't want to pair with Arch. That's all it is, man. I just do not want to pair with Arch. It's too wild. I disagree with some of their decisions, and I think it's going to hurt their token long term. I don't want to eat that on the way down, so I'd prefer to pair with stables. So do you have some stables going on? How about a Shade Noble or a Shade IST? How about, Shade IST pool? What about that?
If they come in with the liquidity, we're happy to foster whatever liquidity we can. I think this deal was done with them in the liquidity council. So like they're doing some kind of liquidity swap with Arch, and meanwhile like Arch wanted some of the liquidity on their decks, which is us. So great. It wasn't like we weren't actually involved in the process. Great. We're happy to support it. We're happy to make money on it, But yeah, we do think we could do quite a few things for stables. Obviously, we weren't built out as a stable swap, but it's a byproduct. We have since customized a lot of our pools to make for incredibly efficient stable swaps. So hopefully we have some more news on that front here pretty soon. A lot of people have voiced that they like the narrative of being the curve of Cosmos, and we will be.
And I think that's really cool. In fact, you guys are launching some new tokens really, really soon here, aren't you?
Quite a few.
Yeah, I can't. Eric will make the announcement. He'll come on, make the announcement. It'll be wonderful. He won't. He'll do it on Twitter, and then I'm his afterthought because I don't actually support his decks too much. Carry on, Belle.
All right, so Carter again. I'll also add the more I've thought about organic bonding, the more I'm beginning to like the thought process behind it. Keep up the good work. Excited to see the Astrovault token live in motion.
Explain organic bonding, Eric, and do it in about 30 seconds. So explain it to a 5-year-old. Go.
Yeah, the idea of organic bonding is where we earn the trade fees as protocol-owned liquidity, but we pay the liquidity providers in AXV. That's kind of like how Gravitate works in stable pools. So say volume's kind of low and the price of AXV is going high, so that the Gravitate rewards for AXV is actually higher than the trade fees. Users could trade USDC to USDT, kind of even back and forth, if you will, to farm AXV. What's happening is when our volume's going up, but the trade fees in USDC and USDT are being owned by the DAO. Our stable reserves are going up. Meanwhile, they're cashing out their Gravitate and they're actually getting a higher redemption rate in AXV until it's no longer profitable to do so. And that means that we basically pulled off what a bond is, where we sell our token at a slight discount for assets that are available in our stable pools, whether they be solid L1s or whether they be stables. And now it doesn't have to be kind of like a cronyistic process of like, oh, we're going to choose to do these ones. We're going to have backroom deals. We're going to choose like 96% or like whatever arbitrary percentage it is. We just have a dynamic working model that occasionally will get out of balance in this aspect, and we profit more POL when it does.
Dude, you have a funny definition of 30 seconds, man. You just talk 2 minutes. Go, Belle.
All right, one of the last two questions. So, Bud,
Beautiful.
what will the main AXV pair be?
Great question. Planning it to be X Arch initially. So the way we do our cross-chain swapping, like we're really the first to do it, and it works pretty similarly to how USDC set up or how Noble set up CCTP, is that we need a very, very strong AXV pair with the X asset of the layer one we're built on. So if we build on Juno, we need a very strong AXV X Juno pair. We build on Neutron, we need a very strong either X Neutron. Well, we're not going to make an X Neutron, either a very strong AXV Neutron or a very strong AXV X Atom, because we can work with Atom for gas there. But that way we can route cross-chain transactions through those pools. So yes, we would love to get a great AXV, USDC Noble, or IST pool as well. But specifically like for the needs, for the utility that the AXV token provides, as well as for redeeming governance power through the LP tokens, which we do, we need a very strong XArch pair.
All right, last question coming in from GJ. How will AXV token gain value? Will transaction fees on Astrovault be charged in AXV?
Oh, God, here we go.
Got to read our papers, my guy. So all of the trade fees go to Astrovault, as well as all of the liquidity provide, like the LP yield. So the basket of treasury right we got right now, we've got $250,000 in protocol and liquidity that's owned like legally by the AXV token holders. Like that is yours. We have a community pool of a ton of AXV, but we also have a ton of Jackal and a ton of Arch and even a ton of USDC and IST, and that's going to go up. But additionally, all of the trade fees go to the AXV DAO. So the standard pool trade fees, we already have over 20 grand ready to buy back and burn AXV. And if volume goes up, if more people start using it, then that's more codified buy pressure to continually be buying and burning AXV. So everything that you do on Astrovault is providing value for AXV. You also will become part of the AXV DAO with everything you do on Astrovault. You're trading, you're earning AXV. You're liquidity providing, you're earning AXV.
All right, and that was the last one.
Beautiful. Okay, I'll talk a little bit now. You guys didn't give me any questions. Don't you want to know how to make money or how I make money? I mean, it used to be about that. Now it's all about Astrovault and how do we stake and all that other stuff.
They're saving all their questions up for you for Saturday since it's the last show before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. And we'll probably, if you guys, we're not expecting any, but if you guys tune in, we'll give a couple of giveaways or something like that. I'll hit up Carter for some shade, man. Maybe he'll donate Christmas presents, giving back to the community that supported us all this time. Appreciate it tonight, guys. We've been getting really big crowds, man, for us. It's Belle and I broadcast for years and years, and we were doing it to single digits. I mean, 5, 6 people up in here, but we're still doing the same show and just hitting it hard. So yeah, we appreciate you guys all sticking around. I'll tell you what, would love a sub on the channel. I've never asked, but I'm starting to do that more. Thumbs up, all that other fun stuff that people do with YouTube's. My videos get just no views. I mean, nothing. I think we fired away today. I think I got about 60 views on a Juno video, man. My time has passed, but we're still killing the live stream, so that'll work for us. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Eric, you already had your last say. I'm gonna cut you off. We're over time, so I'm gonna turn it over to Belle. She's gonna talk us up, talk us out. Wonderful show tonight, guys, and I appreciate you. Go, Belle.
All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough. Definitely keep the comments and questions coming. They do make us think and they do keep us on our toes. Now, with that being said, we are going to be having one more show before Christmas on Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard. In between now and Saturday, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to email those to Scott or myself, Scott@ThePodcast.com or Bella@ThePodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we will see you next time.
We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of our most current content.